Wheels here every week. I've been saying that it's heat. Every call I be getting geeked. I'm in thrall for every speaker. Updates making feast. Roof raise, can you see it? Luck ain't even in it. This is just a bunch of heavy lifting. So look, it's a Wednesday running back. There's a W in the chat. The Catdets spitting facts. Got the Catdets culture on the map. There ain't no PvP. Preaching PvP. If you want COC, you better show you mean it. Stay in culture, let's make some more. Catdets Corner, so you call it. All the baddies is a lady. Pull up, he's a lady. Kill you, me also known as that. Chatting with Kash on the back end. I was gonna add up the change like a cat. Gotta say I'm glad I was in the Jupiverse. Like an OG status and I'm still up on the path. Cooking over gas, started the expansion. Looking like a blast man, it's fun to be a cat. If you ain't one yet, you should stick around for that. When my name turned red, I felt the first passion. I just get it moving on. Making do some music and the cats like it's a groove. Truly, cats looking like a little movie. Life getting changed, that's how he said he do. We got wins here every week. I've been saying that it's heat. Every call I be getting geeked. I'm in thrall for every speaker. Updates making feast. Roof raise, can you see it? Luck ain't even in it. This is just a bunch of heavy lifting. So look, it's a Wednesday running back. There's a W in the chat. The Catdets spitting facts. Got the Catdets culture on the map. There ain't no PvP. We're preaching PvP. If you want COC, wheels here every week. I've been saying that it's heat. Every call I be getting geeked. I'm in thrall for every speaker. Updates making feast. Roof raise, can you see it? Luck ain't even in it. This is just a bunch of heavy lifting. So look, it's a Wednesday running back. There's a W in the chat. The Catdets spitting facts. Got the Catdets culture on the map. There ain't no PvP. We're preaching PvP. If you want COC, you better show you mean it. Stay in culture, let's make some more. Catdets Corner, so you call it. All the baddies is a lady. Pull up, he's a lady. Kill you, me also known as that. Chatting with Kash on the back end. I was gonna add up the chamber like a cat. Gotta say I'm glad I was in the Jupiverse. Like an OG status and I'm still up on the path. Cooking over gas, started the expansion. Looking like a blast man, it's fun to be a cat. If you ain't one yet, you should stick around for that. When my name turned red, I felt the first passion. I just get it moving on. Making do some music and the cats like it's a groove. Truly, cats looking like a little movie. Life getting changed, that's how he said he do. We got wins here every week. I've been saying that it's heat. Every call I be getting geeked. I'm in thrall for every speaker. Updates making feast. Roof raise, can you see it? Luck ain't even in it. This is just a bunch of heavy lifting. So look, it's a Wednesday running back. There's a W in the chat. The Catdets spitting facts. Got the Catdets culture on the map. There ain't no PvP. We're preaching PvP. If you want COC, you better show me.
What's up, everybody? How we doing? How we feeling? It's 11:30 over here in Malaysia, and I'm here with all my closest friends. My guy Girk, who should be banned by now. I don't know what Girk is still doing here. But what's going on, Tommy? What's going on, Bella, and everybody else? I see Broda. Who else? Is it? Monique made it just in time. Yes, DJ Kato Hitori. The beat does go hard. Big shout out to the big homie, Dr. Pre-Ballin. What's going on? What's up? Yeah, Cash in the office. That's right, Yoda. How you doing, Martin? Weather in Malaysia, balmy, just the way that I like it. It is good to have you here. Yes, I'm in good health. Thank you, Health, for pointing that out. Appreciate the people's patience with how I was on the last one of these, but it's good to be back, especially when I'm joined by just a roster of absolute killers today. Not only do we have the homie Italo, not only do we have the homie with the new name, Julian, we also got the big homie AlleyCat, and we have this one of my favorite people in the community, AG, is in the building as well, folks. We're going to have a very fun one. There's a lot to talk about, a lot of news over the last 2 weeks that you might have missed. As you can see in the title of this stream, the Jupiter Validator is crushing, but it's not just that. It's also JLP and a few other major things. So we're going to go through all of that. I love Malaysia. Shout out to all my Singapore friends, but the Malaysia office just frankly is nicer. You guys can't really, I'm the only one here, obviously. Although I wasn't until just like 30 minutes ago and like a bunch of people left. But there's a pool table. The office aside, why don't we get into business? We got a lot of business to go through today. We don't have time for my shenanigans. Hello, my name is Kash Satchel. I don't believe you. I think that you might be lying. Please do not believe the fake Cash in the chat. What's going on, dudes? All right. Yeah, no more food wars, Scarlett. That's right. Enough of the small talk. Let's get into it. But before we do, we got to play the unofficial Cadet theme song. Let's go. Yes, that is right. We are back on the planetary call. It feels good to be here. In case you haven't already, just do me a little personal favor, just for me. Don't do it for anybody else. Just do it for your old pal Cash. Like the stream, give it a little retweet, tell the world about it. If you're on this call right now, as I look backstage at my other speakers, you definitely better be retweeting this stream. I'll tell you that much. As I see they smile and have not yet done that. Some of the others have. It is great to be back with you all. In case you don't already know, my name is Cash. I am the cat herder. Intern did not have a funny image today, so we're left with my old PFP. Chat, should I change? Cash, did you grow new gray hair? Wow, Conch, it's great to see you, buddy. Thanks for coming out. Really starting this off on a positive note. I was going to ask a question about my PFP, but now I'm too nervous about it. I will also say, sorry, there's people in the chat asking live test 1% Kirby or no balls. I have been ratioed on 34 posts by the Kirby community. They do not fuck around. They do not mess around. And I will be having an announcement on that front tomorrow. So I'll tell folks about that later. But in any case, let me tell you what we're doing today. This is the planetary call. What do we do here? We talk about the people and the products that make the Jupiverse so great. This is not a place to be talking about token price. This is a place to be talking about the fundamentals. And the fundamentals are the products, the people, the community, and all that jazz. And so that's what we're going to dive into today. We have a jam-packed agenda this week in the Jupiverse, possibly the longest one we've ever had, quite honestly. There's a lot of big things happening there. Then we're going to hear about JLP, which is, I think, just the universe's favorite token in many ways, with the maestro himself, Julian. And then we're going to talk about the Jupiter Validator, which JLP has been helping increase as well with the big homie Italo. Then we're going to have a new section. I told you guys before we wanted to kind of make these calls. Yes, we wanted to have the celebration. Yes, we wanted to uplift community voices, team voices, but we also want to do a little bit more on the education side and a little bit virgin on the alpha side. And so money glitches is the name of the segment. I don't know if people like that or don't like that. You can give me a little thumbs up, thumbs down. Italo is not Brazilian, but I am saying fundamentals like a Brazilian because there's a guy on TikTok who does a Brazilian accent that I really love. He does anyway. So we're gonna talk about money glitches, which are some opportunities with the Jupiter product suite where you can start to earn, call it alpha. They're public, but people aren't paying attention to them. So I'm here to tell you about them. And then we're gonna do a new segment called Community Notes with AlleyCat. People will remember AlleyCat joined the Jupiter team not but a few weeks ago. Already, he's been making his impact felt. I've been talking to people across the community, hosting town halls, doing a bunch of stuff, and he's got some insights that he wants to share about, the DAO and the community and what we've kind of how we got here a little bit. And then we're going to end with Catdets Corner, everyone's favorite part of the call. That is the game plan for today. If that sounds good to all of you, let's get into this week in the Jupiverse. Cuban American folks. Sorry, I don't want to dox where he lives, but that would be why. Anyway, Italo's been doing some great work lately, along with the rest of the Jupiverse here. Jupiter is now the 4th largest validator on Solana. That is in the universe, folks, not just on planet Earth, but there's no other planet that has bigger validators than us. We're number 4 on the list. Now, as my father used to say, if you're not 4th, you're last. And so it's great to be in here. 2.5 million 2.5 million SOL was just staked. Julian's going to tell us all about that in a little bit. But this is a real place where Solana wins because we are running Frank and Dancer at times and just pushing the network forward in a bunch of different ways. And where Jupiter wins as well for ways that will become more obvious to you when Italo goes on. Marino is, as always, correct. We are absolutely going for that number 1 spot. Shout out to Helios. To my bald friend Mert is great, and they do excellent work, and they deserve their stake. But all due respect to Figment and Binance staking, I don't know. Should they be on top of the number 1 DeFi protocol on Solana? Probably not. Probably not, is my opinion. And so we're going to do some more over there. Money glitches are some opportunities for you to earn using the Jupiter product suite that we'll talk about in a little bit. But this is a major factor. If you don't know why this matters, Stick around in about 15-ish minutes, 20-ish minutes. Italo is going to come on and tell you why it actually matters for you and for every Jupiter user, and why this is actually bullish, not just for Solana, but for Jupe as well. After that, it's worth saying, speaking of Jupe, we did it, Joe. We crossed 100 million Jupe in the Litterbox Trust. It now holds more than $50 million worth of Jupe. More than 3% of the circulating supply is now in the Litterbox Trust itself. As a reminder, 50% of Jupiter's on-chain revenues go back to the Litterbox Trust, which then buys and accumulates Jupe. Why do we do this? Because it is a nice way to kind of directly tie the impact on the token with the impact of the products, to align token holders and users, and to give anyone who holds the token a real reason to put it out there, and to go and shill and evangelize the products. I see Broda says, burn it. I might have some thoughts on that. I think that there's a few different things here, but this is a very cool thing to see. 100 million Jupe is just crazy. And yesterday, I'm thinking 1.7 million Jupe. Pretty wild. Doll Highlight says, I'm going to give away $300 of Jupe when they announce massive changes for Jupe. I mean, like an ASR percentage of the rev. I'll tell you what, Doll, you increase that to make it 3,000, and then we can maybe talk, and then we'll see what we got going. But we hear a lot of the comments on Twitter and Discord in town halls about what to do with the Litterbox Trust. We're working on it. Just stay tuned. Stay tuned on that, hopefully for an update relatively soon. In the meantime, let me just give a little bit of bullish news to the group. I know this is something I've been asked about seemingly every time I do anything. Let me just go ahead and confirm this for you once and for all. Jupe stakers will be receiving a MET airdrop. MET, the project token for Meteora. I think that they announced, I really hope they announced that it's coming out in around October. I don't know. We'll see. This is the first time we're really kind of confirming this in public. So anyone who has been staking Jupe is going to be getting, well, I guess it depends on how much Jupe you've been staking, but you will be receiving a fairly juicy airdrop, in my opinion. It is larger than a normal airdrop, but you're going to hear the specifics about this in 2 weeks' time on the next Planetary call. We're going to have the lady killer himself. The Chad knows him and loves him. Soju is on to talk about this. But this is, I think people are going to be very happy about this. And in order to make sure that it feels fair, there's also going to be a time-weighted stake component to this as well. So people who have been with us longer, who if you've been staking from for a long time, you're going to end up doing a little bit better on this and get rewarded accordingly. So this is a good one, a nice benefit for the Jupe stakers coming your way. Over on the Lend side, Jupiter Lend now integrated in Binance Wallet. I don't imagine a lot of people who are watching this use Binance Wallet. All due respect to Binance. Obviously, great product, the biggest crypto exchange by far. But the idea is to kind of get some of those users to taste the beauty of DeFi. So now within Binance Wallet, we have a new campaign, $300,000 worth of USDG rewards to be claimed. If you use Binance, I would get some USDG. I would deposit it in here. You're going to get some bonus incentives on top of what's available to everyone else on Jupiter Lend. So here's a little extra alpha for you on that one. Speaking of Lend itself, across 1.25 billion in total supply. I believe it is the fastest growing protocol on Solana ever. I've not done enough fact checking to be able to tweet that with confidence. But I do believe that is the case. Fastest ever to a billion on Solana. And it continues to grow. I will just kind of preface and warn everybody right now, the next major leg of growth is going to come after we open source the contracts. I've talked to a bunch of funds. I've talked to a bunch of giant LPs. They all have the same kind of due diligence and compliance requirement. Yes, 3 audits is great, but we want to see it open source so we can see the code for ourselves. That's probably going to happen in the next 3 to 4 weeks. Depends a little bit on the 4th audit and when it cleans up. But that's when you can expect another massive upsurge over there. So that is pretty great. And then on Lend, what's very cool, $560 million in active loans. This is what happens when you have the highest LTVs and substantially better liquidation, 100x lower liquidation penalties. Borrowers know they get a better deal on Lend. It's well said. Jupiter Lend, better for borrowers. That's where you should go borrow. The alpha we're going to talk about is usually around some of these kinds of things here. That's not it, though. The numbers look great on Jupiter Portfolio, 3 million users. Up until Jupiter Lend came out, because as people will know, I worked on Jupiter Lend quite a bit myself. Jupiter Portfolio was my favorite Jupiter product. It is now my second favorite product. I still love you, Guam. Please don't be mad at me. But it's not only mine, it's many, many other people. 3 million people have now used it. Just insane. Literally every single person should be using it. Thank you, Jupe. Love you too. Then we have Jupiter Send now has gasless support as well, which means you can send coins to any wallet without holding any SOL at all. So you get some USDC, you can just send it off. This is a part of our broader push to make sure that the kind of Jupiter product suite moves in the direction of gaslessness. Gas is a vital concept on chain, but it's also a confusing concept, especially for new people, right? It can feel weird that you have to have SOL as well as whatever other token you want. You can accidentally deposit it all or sell it all or whatever else it might be. So we want to really ensure that gasless is all across the board. And this is pretty great. This is, for people to know, the Met airdrop is not going to be in Jupiter portfolio just yet. I just saw someone in the comments there. There's going to be more details on that in 2 weeks' time when we talk to Soju. But I'm just telling you right here, right now, there's going to be more. Let's see. MD1 said, I canceled my unstake last week after staking since day one. Never claimed, probably going to hurt my Met drop. I mean, you'll get less than you would have had you never unstaked, but if you have staked, you're gonna receive something anyway. So we'll make sure that everyone who's supported us throughout our history gets a little love. Back to the portfolio side here, 200,000 users have now checked out the airdrop checker. Why haven't you? Ask yourself that. Just look in the mirror and say, why haven't I used airdrop checker? Do I hate free money? Is that why I haven't used it? And then go and talk with your God. Go and talk with your boss. Go and talk with your parents. I don't care who it is. But be like Molu. Look at this. Found some money over here. He's eligible because Molu's a Chad, 11,500. We love Molu, and we love the airdrop checker. If anyone, Uncle Phil sent 50 jupe to a 76-year-old grandma. Love to see it. Here we go. Back-to-back W's. I can't take it, says Betty. Jeez, correct. The next one over here, the all-new multi-tab browser is now on iOS. Heavily requested feature, might I add. I think people were really been looking for this for a long time, especially if you're heading into DeFi and you have multiple kind of options or multiple places that you're kind of doing things. It can be nice to have them all quickly at hand. Multi-tab now supported in Jupiter Mobile. Shortcuts to the Jupiter products you love, and bookmark your favorite apps for the easiest access. Big shout out to the sex symbol AA Ron and the rest of the team for pushing this one through. Not an easy one, but looks very good. Going back to Jupe Stakers over here, a small one. Listen, this is not the biggest thing in the world. I appreciate that, but it's just another way for the ecosystem to show some appreciation for the Jupe Stakers out there. For those of you who are interested, you can go check out Clout. We have this nice little graphic right over here. Clout's been all over Twitter. It's been on viral multiple times. You can go check out Clout with invite code Jupe right now if you want to. 1,000 Jupe stake gets you an automatic whitelist. 2,000 Jupe stake gets you pre-sale access as well. They are building attention capital markets on Solana. It's cool. Go do your own research. This is not financial advice, et cetera, et cetera. Go check this out, and we'll see. Play Solana in the house. We love Jupiter. Shout out to you as well. Slick says, I already got my cloud hashtag. All right, there we go. That's good to see. BTC Soul 2x reward campaign on Jupe Soul with BTC Soul. So BTC Soul's 2x reward campaign is back. So if you restake Jupe Soul, you can double down on your ZBTC rewards. Just make sure you stay staked entirely from September 16th to 30th. You can go check out btcsoul.co if you want to go check this out. Yet another way that you can, earn a little bit. If you have some Jupe Soul, and why wouldn't you have Jupe Soul, and you want to earn some Bitcoin kind of rewards, this is the place to go. So there you go. Look at this already. We haven't even done money glitches, and there's been a few places where you can earn some more money. Renault asks, do I think Cloud is a good project? I know the team a little bit. I think that they're very well intentioned and high quality builders. I do not give financial advice on this outside, so I don't have anything to say about how the financial products from them will do. But I think what they're building is interesting, and I think it's definitely worth checking out. Ignacio says, "I have my cloud. Thanks, Jupe. Very welcome." Are there any staking airdrop or other protocols planned for GUR? You're gonna have to ask the GUR folks on that one. That one's not me. But yes, Jupe Soul, the highest APY of any major Soul. Now go restake that for even more rewards. That's over there. Here's another thing that I'm personally very excited about. We talked about a few weeks ago, the Planetary call moved to an every other week schedule instead of every week. This was not only for the sake of my gray hairs, that you can't, but this is also so that we can have some other voices kind of start to take some more space and have more interactive sessions. Obviously, I love the chat. I love to interact with the chat here. Hopefully you guys feel like it's a good time. But we want to make sure that there's more opportunities to ask questions, give feedback, and so forth. And so any off week where we don't have the Planetary call, we now officially will be having product spaces. So bring your questions, your feedback, suggestions. Shout out to Jupe and Juice who's helping on this. Shout out to AlleyCat and AG and everybody else, which is great to see. One quick programming note, if you are coming to KBW, to Korean Blockchain Week, please come through. Solana Oriental is happening in Seoul on Sunday night. I will be there myself. I will be giving a talk. So if you're not already sick of my voice, this is a great way to become sick of my voice. But the event is going to be crazy. Shout out to Fragmetric and the Salon Foundation. I think they've put together something really killer. Hopefully, we'll get to see you there. And that is about it for this week in the Jupiverse. My goodness, my mouth is already dry and I have no access to water. I am in Malaysia, but I feel like I'm back in the desert. All right, Famsy, if you're going, awesome. I hope to see you there. Whew, a lot of good news over the last 2 weeks. I gotta say, a lot of good stuff. Margaret, Jupiverse, fire emoji. That's really the only thing that you can say. Jam packed. Slick and quick today, Minted Wizard, only for you and only because it's 11:53 p.m. And I have a full day of meetings tomorrow. Will I sign my Jupe Ledger? Only if you bring me a signed headshot, Molu. Then I will sign your Jupe Ledger. But I will take that and I'll hang that up above my bed where I do sleep with my wife, and she will be very confused, but she'll understand. Anyway. Let's get into some of the updates here. We got a jam-packed agenda with some great guests. Please drop a little jam in the chat. He leads Jupiter Perps, which is the heart of the Jupiter business in many ways. And he's just an all-around great dude. It's a delight to have him here. Julian, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, thanks, Kash. Thanks for the new name as well, and thank you to everybody in the chat today. Hope everybody's doing
You're
good.
gonna have to give a thank you to Italo. That was Italo's coinage, not mine. But god damn, do I like it though. Julian, so nice. I love the flavor on it. Julian, obviously, you and Hatsien and the rest of the team have been doing some pretty major upgrades to JLP. Maybe before we even talk about the upgrades, just in case there are some, we have a few thousand people on this call already. In case they don't know, can you just tell them what is JLP and why is it such a special token, such a special product?
Right. So actually, it's something that that we love about in the team is that if you guys go to the chart of JLP, again, non-financial advice, but JLP is probably one of the few true only up coins on the chart. Yeah. So that's the layman layman explanation of it. But in a serious note, JLP is token that has the three big coins in it: Solana, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and USDC. But this alone actually does not make it like that special, right? It's just like a basket. What makes it really special is that all the fees that we earn from perps and from JLP itself goes back into the JLP. So when you buy JLP, actually you are getting the dividends from JLP without doing anything. There's no extra airdrop or what. You just hold and the price goes up, hopefully. And again, I mean, even though like I say, it's only up, and again, non-financial advice. But if you take a look at the charts, like even when Sol, Bitcoin, Ethereum is dropping, JLP is doing pretty good in general. So for people there who are not like super traders, just want to hold something stable, something that is like maybe like stable and a bit of volatility and a bit of returns, JLP is a good good product. And again, like I said, if you trade perps, yeah, sorry, go ahead, Kash.
I was gonna say, for me, like what I recommend to anybody in crypto is like if you're trying to take some profits, rolling them into JLP is a great way to do it because you still have some upside,
Yes,
you still have a little bit of downside. Like the token price can go down, but you have some kind of guaranteed yield, which is like 17-ish% these days. One question that I've been seeing a lot on Twitter that I just want to put to bed once and all, I see it a little bit in the chat here as well, is JLP's price goes up. Why doesn't Jupe's price go up? Can't you just merge JLP and Jupe? So, Julian, why can we not merge JLP and Jupe? Can you explain it one time? We can clip this and then have this as a response anytime somebody says that in the future.
Yep. So I mean, even from the very start, JLP and Jupe are two different things, right? So JLP itself, the reason why there is Bitcoin, Ethereum, Sol, and USDC in it is because these are the tokens that we use in perps. So actually, the one thing I didn't explain just now is that when you buy JLP, you are actually providing liquidity to the pool for perps. And it's not just for perps. Like in Jupiter Swap, when you swap, for example, USDC to Sol, it can go through the JLP, right? So this pool, like all the fees you get, we earn it back and we put it back into the JLP. So why can't we put Jupe? It's because, like, for example, for perps, we don't have Jupe right now. I mean, it is unfortunate, but we don't have Jupe right now, right? And secondly, if you put Jupe inside the JLP, it is actually kind of risky for the JLP in general because Jupe price is very volatile. And if you put it inside there, it's going to be, it's going to make the JLP price go like up, down, and it's not very good for the pool for the swaps. And I think at the point at JLP where it is right now, like 2.2 billion, just adding a new coin in general to JLP is very hard. Not just in terms of technical, but we might have a lot of pushback for investors who are happy with the JLP right where it is right now. It's not. I mean, I wish it was just as easy as saying like you want Jupe in here, I can put it in. You want Bonk here, I can put it in. I wish it was that easy for everyone, but it's not. And at this level, we really cannot just put in anything into the pool. And again, Jup and JLP at its core is very, very different products. And we cannot just put it in there. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw somebody else, Jeet Sniper said, why can't you focus on building Jupe a little more than JLP? No one wants to merge them. It's impossible. You are correct. It's impossible. Let me
Yes.
assure you of this, my friend. We are far more focused on growing Jupe than we are JLP, with the
Yeah.
exception maybe of Julian and a few other members of the team. But of the 100 people on the team, 97 of them are thinking about Jupe. And like three
Mhm.
of them are thinking about JLP. JLP is a kind of a byproduct of how good the Perps product is as a whole. So the Perps team cares a lot about it. But let me just put to bed the fact that yes, we care a lot about Jupe. It is where I'm in KL. All of my conversations today have been about Jupe. They've not been about JLP. All due respect, Julian, we love JLP,
So,
but it just doesn't. It doesn't need that kind of work in the way that Jupe does. So, thank you for answering that. With that said, there was a major change made to JLP that is great for JLP holders. Tell the people, what did you guys do?
so yeah, so the thing is that in the last 2 weeks, we've staked 2.5 million SOL from the JLP natively. So about half of the SOL in the pool. And we might be increasing it a bit more, but yeah, this is the state of where it is right now. And like you say, Cash, I mean, with this, it's bringing us to the top four, almost into the top three. We want to be there one day. So
We're gonna
yeah,
get this
this has
soon.
been, yeah, we're gonna get this soon. So yeah, this has been, I mean, especially with JLP holder, this will be very, very good news for you because the yield from native staking is actually going to go back into JLP. So remember when I said that every fee that we earn, we put it back to the pool. Same thing for the native staking as well. Like we don't take everything, we just put, the yield we get from native staking back into the JLP. So we're not just taking for fun, we're not just going it for cloud like top three. We're actually earning something from this, right? Yeah, we're actually earning something from this, and we're actually giving it back to the JLP. So yeah, if you like again, like I said, if you guys saw the JLP, this is amazing news for you.
Yeah, so this adds just basically a perpetual source of whatever it is, 7.5%
Mhm.
APY for JLP that'll be there kind of,
Yes.
or I mean, diluted by whatever percentage SOL is of the overall basket. So call it a net
Mhm.
new 3 or 4% for JLP, just kind of in
Yes.
perpetuity. Yeah.
Yep, correct. So like before this we had people asking us like, hey, like why is the soul not being used? Like why is it like, stating there doing nothing? But now it's doing something. So, it's gonna be really, really good for the yield. And we hope that, like I said, we can stick a bit more to make the full use of all the soul in the pool.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Kaylee, yes, Jail is a basket of tokens like an index fund. Can we have another index fund that we can add Jupe in? Indeed, to the degree that there would ever be more like kind of volatile assets added to Jupiter Perps, I think it would have to be in a secondary pool. Haven't explored that
Yes.
yet, primarily because, and Julian, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I feel like something like north of 90% of all open interest is on the majors. So that really
Yep.
is the thing that people seem to be the most interested by. Is that true?
Yes, correct. Most trading is on the majors. And like you said, if we were ever to do a new, like for example, Jupe or even any other meme coin, it will be in the new pool. So yeah, Kayla, you're right. It'll be in the new pool and not in the current JLP.
But that's not all on Jupiter Perps. What else has been going on over here?
Yes. So earlier today, we just increased the max sizes for Sol, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. So for people here who you'd like to go big, you can go even bigger right now. But here's the thing, going big by itself, it's not useful right on its own. So what we did aside from this is to reduce price impact fees for traders. So right now, if you trade on Jupiter Post and you open a large trade, and if you are like familiar with the fees, it's going to be cheaper significantly. And we do this because we want more people to open big sizes, long sizes, earn more. So we're going to make fees a lot cheaper. And it's not going to stop here. Like I said, this is just one step of it. In the next few weeks and even months, we're looking at even more opportunities to reduce the fee. And again, for JLP holders, they have to worry. It's not gonna bring down the JLP, but we're just trying to bring in more volume and reducing fees and make sure it's good for everyone. So yeah,
Absolutely. Huge. This
yeah,
is a giant deal. I mean, in my personal opinion, it's as big of a deal as
yes,
actually staking the soul here.
exactly.
People as damn it, Shujini stole my joke. She said, "OMG, perps finally accessible to Molu." That's the joke I was going to make. Yes, Molu and Julian can now finally trade on Jupiter Perps. This is huge. I will say that the reason that Jupiter Perps is the number one perps platform on Solana, guaranteed liquidity. You're always going to be able to close your trade no matter what the size is. And that's great. That's
Mhm.
not true of all platforms here. But the one knock
Yep.
against it was, hey, for this kind of certainty that I get, I got to pay a little bit more in fees than I'd have to pay on some
Mhm.
other platforms or on Binance or whatever else. And now this,
Yep.
I think this is a very dramatic 60% linear price impact fee reduction for trades.
Yep.
Huge change.
Yep. So like exactly right, Cash. I mean, the biggest complaint that we know about it is that people saying, "Yo, perps is super expensive," and we hear you. So like I said, this is not the final step. We are doing a few more things to reduce the fees, make it better for traders. So keep up, keep a good look on the channel, and we'll announce all this when we push the changes. But for this one, it's actually really live. So yeah, start trading now.
So giant size with less than half the fees, and JLP holders get more yield all the time. Julian, you and the boys have been cooking. There's no other way to put it over here. Jupiter Perps, absolutely crushing on this side. I definitely, if you see anyone complaining about Jupiter Perps fees, please tell them that the fees have come down. Tell them that the size has gone up. And if you don't already have it, Tony said, when is this live? When is this live, Julian?
It's already live.
It's live right now. There you go. Thank
Yes.
you. It is live right now. You can go and trade on Jupiter Perps. Killer. This is also, I will say, just good for everyone, by the way. More volume on Jupiter Perps does, if we can, obviously it helps the JLP holders, but it's also going to help the Jup token. Remember, we take the Jupiter protocol takes 25% from JLP or from Perps revenue, and then half of that goes back to the litter box for Jupiter accumulation. So more people trading Perps at size means more fees. Even if the fees itself are lower, we make it up in volume and then have them in the Jupiter ecosystem. So this is also good for Jup and good for everybody on the call right here. Julian, anything else you wanted to say about Jupiter Perps and the mad cooking that you guys have been up to?
No, I think like you covered everything. But again, like I said, going back to the JLP and Jup question, like I think what you guys don't realize that aside from the Perps team, actually the entire Jup team has been working super hard to make Jupiter the best product. Like it may not reflect in the token price, but myself behind the team, may be biased, but everyone's working super hard for you guys. So don't worry too much about the Jup price. We are doing the best things for you, and just keep an eye out on what we do in the future.
That's right. I will say in the near term future as well, folks. I think people will be pretty happy. Yeah, we got some things cooking. It never ceases to amaze me that since the beginning of the year, the Jupiter business has basically doubled in size in terms of like its revenue, its users. It's literally doubled in the sense of like the number of revenue generating products that it has, and the token doesn't yet reflect that. But we got some ideas over there. In the meantime, Jupiter Perps absolutely crushing. If you haven't already checked out JLP, do some research, figure it out. $2.2 billion asset. Is that right? Is it 2.2? Is it more than that now?
2.2 and growing.
2.2 and growing. That's right. So go check that out. Julian, thanks so much for coming on. Always a pleasure to see you, my friend.
Thank you.
Space. All right. Right on the back of that, very much related, is the Jupiter Validator. And so to talk about the Jupiter Validator, I gotta bring the smartest man in the validator space back up here. Not only is he so smart, and not only is he so humble that he's blushing right now behind the scenes as I say this, he's also got a voice to die for, and quite honestly, he's a dear buddy, and it's always a pleasure to see him. I don't get to see him enough. Italo, how are you doing, my friend?
Hey, GM. This is our first call as teammates, and congrats.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh yes. Well, hell yeah. Oh, I guess that's true. Because last time you were on, it was just in service of Jupe Soul, huh? Yes. Well, allow me to just say it. We had a lot of great hires. Listen, I joined the Jupiter team this year. I'm pretty bullish on myself, but there's few people that have made me more bullish on Jupiter than Italo, and that's going to become obvious in a few weeks' time. Let me tell you that much. But I don't want to spill too much of the alpha there. So let's instead talk about the Jupiter Validator. Italo, how does it feel? You got the fourth biggest validator in all of Solana under your control. Jupe Soul now the third largest LST. Why does this matter? Obviously, it's fun to see Jupiter up on the charts. Obviously, it's good for the brand value. It feels good to be giving back. But why does this actually matter?
It matters quite a bit because the more stake we have, the more reliable is our interaction with the actual network with Solana. It means faster reads, more reliable transactions that we send to do your swaps or open or close your perps positions. The more stake, the better on this case. One thing that I want to mention that I think so far we didn't mention yet is that it is not only that we are the fourth largest, it is that in the top 20, we are probably usually around the first or the second most performant validator. And the only one who is willing to experiment with this, which I think matters quite a lot in Solana, just because this type of experiment is to allow the network to move forward. Like, for example, we were the first one from the big validators to use Fire Dancer. Now there are more, like Galaxy, for example, is using it too. But these things matter. I guess another additional percent on what we are trying to do with the validator, why it matters for us to be the largest. I'm not happy that we are the fourth, even though Julian, thank you so much. Job is not finished. We need to get there. First one, and then we kind of like drink on that. Yeah.
I think it's well worth saying, that it helps. Fundamentally, maybe people don't actually. Can you take people through a little bit? Why is it so hard to land transactions on Solana? Like, they maybe have heard people complain about this and so on, and you log into Jupiter and it just works, and so you're just like, oh, it can't be that hard. Jupiter, like, it just works. That's why we say just use Jupiter. But it's actually much harder under the seats. Can you explain a little bit more about why having more stake allows us to land transactions more effectively?
Yeah, that is not a very easy question to answer, but I will do my best to answer that in a very simple way. When the network is congested, right? Let's say that there is a Meteora airdrop, right?
Yeah.
Everyone wants that.
Well done.
When the network gets congested, meaning like all the blocks are getting full, and you send a transaction, your transaction, depending on the pipe that is taken into the network, might take a little bit longer, or it might never land because it takes too long that it will expire. On those times, right, having more stake means that we have a reserve bandwidth for creating connections into the validators who are creating the blocks. And the more stake, the more bandwidth we get on creating those connections. That is not a full answer, but I think that is a nice TLDR.
I think so. I think, to put it in slightly different terms, it creates a moat for Jupiter on the product level, right? Because it means that in times when people really want to land transactions and they're using all sorts of different services, there's one place you can go which can reliably get that transaction landed, and that's Jupiter. And it's specifically in those times of high volatility that you want to make sure that your transactions go through, whether you're trying to add collateral, to a position on Jupiter Land, whether you're trying to make a trade, or you're trying to get out of a trade, all of those kinds of things become really essential. So the Jupiter Validator fundamentally makes the entire Jupiter product suite better as a result of its performance here. And indeed, the performance, nothing to laugh and stick at. We actually just got some charts made because I think I already said this on Twitter, but we're talking to all the DATs. The DATs are very interested in staking with Jupiter because Jupiter's got, as you say, the most performant validator. Where do you actually really see the performance come up? Is it in the APY?
There are different ways to measure performance. On this specific conversation, I am talking about the APY. There are other type of performance around like how fast the validator votes, which means that is good for the network, and how full the blocks of the validators are, which is good for the network too. But related to the stakers, yes, it will be in APY, which essentially is composed of two things, the inflation and the MEV. That is today. That is what usually the sum of those two is usually what the APY is. There is a third component, which is the priority fees of the validator, which today, by default, there is no way for a validator to share that with the stakers. But there is a SIMP, which was approved, that at some point will get implemented, that it will allow validators to share that additional component, of which today is an additional 1%, more or less, with the staker. Yeah.
There you go, folks. There it is. Performance is what matters. Drop a little validate me, Poppy, in the chat if you're on board here. But like we said, we wanted to make these a little bit more educational, so hopefully you leave now a little bit smarter than you started here, understanding a little bit more of the validator and why it's so good and what Italo has been up with. And then we have a new website in process as well. Hey.
Yeah. As I mentioned, like job's not done. Like we need to keep moving. Right now we have the third largest LSC and we have the fourth largest validator. Kash by breakpoint, 1-on-1.
Let's do it, buddy. All right, let's go.
We are working behind the scenes on many things to keep growing. One of those things is we're going to have a new stake experience on Jup.ag. Right? What you're seeing here is just one of the components of that. Like the first thing that you will see essentially will allow you to either direct stake or get the LST very easy. And you will be able to manage your position, like on a stake from the validator or swap the LST and all these things. But this is not the only thing that is going to be there. We want to integrate Julian into the mix here. We want to do other things away from this stake page. You are able to essentially manage your whole stake, and with different strategies, might include multiply and many other things. And you will be able to essentially, if you are considering staking with Jupiter or getting Jupsol, in this website, you will be able to get all the information that you need. And you will be able to make an informed decision on why that will be a good decision for you.
Love to hear it. More clarity. I mean, it's incredible, honestly, to me, that we've been able to grow it this much without a single piece of information on the internet about it. It's purely just like an if you know, you know kind of thing. And now it's our first time kind of bringing it to the masses. You'd be surprised how many people don't even know about liquid staking tokens at all and don't understand what the benefits are, what the risks are. The risks are incredibly minimal and the benefits are incredibly high. So hopefully we get more people doing that as well. Yes, Supius, this website is not live, sorry, but Jupsol and the native staking are live right now. We are live in the number 4 spot, and we're going to keep climbing.
Let me give you some stats in there, because I think this part is like I really enjoyed the stats around Jupsol. There are 4 major LSTs in Solana. When I mean major, I mean very liquid, good size. You can trust those, right? Girosol, Binance, they have an LST. It's not like too well known, but it's like a very large. MSol, which is Marinate. And then Jupsol. Those are the 4 largest by far. From those 4, we have an additional APY percent. Then everyone is around like 6 point something. We are 7 point something.
We're still 100 bips above, you're saying?
Yes, on APY.
And
if you are getting another LST, you are losing a 1% there.
It's financially irresponsible, honestly.
Yes.
There's no difference except you'll make less money. Why would anyone do that? I don't know. I honestly don't have a good reason for it. And just remind me, we obviously, the reason the APY is so high is we give the priority fees back. There's a small fee that Sanctum charges that they could give to us. Where does that go?
Yes, then essentially right now in Jupsol, if the math is correct, there is around 6 point something million SOL or 5 point something around that number. 100% of the priority fees, or like 95% of the priority fees remember I mentioned before, APY of a validator is inflation plus MEV. Priority fees doesn't get shared with the stakers because there is not a way to do that today. Now with LST is a different situation, because we can give the LST has something that is called the reserve accounts. Essentially, all the rewards for the stake account that belongs to the LST, there is a reserve account that all the rewards goes there. And if you buy Jupsol, you see that the value of Jupsol is higher than the value of Sol, is because in that reserve account you are getting all those rewards and increasing the value of the Jupsol token. In that reserve account, we send the priority fees, which means that we increase the value of the token a little bit higher, and that is why we have a higher APY, because Girosol, Marinate, MSol, or Binance, they are not doing that. For different reasons. I think they will love to do it if they could. I think the way that they design their LST is different, which is more difficult to do it today. But that is a reason why we have a higher APY than the rest, essentially.
Love that. And I think that it's important to kind of like communicate that so that people know that this is not like magic internet to money. We're not like faking this. This is all coming from the performance of the validator, attracting more priority fees, and then the approach of the Jupiter team, which is always to give back to build the biggest and best products that we can. People are saying, is there a third mic on? What? Is it the AC over here? Is that what people are hearing? I don't have a way to turn this off right now. I'll maybe mute myself where possible. But yes, so Jupe said, so then Jupsol, not Sol, deposited in Juplend, asking for a friend. listen, everyone has their own reasons. Some folks, for tax reasons, want to just hold Sol or whatever else it is. I don't know exactly. For me, outside of the gas that I have, I have whatever 1 Sol per wallet for gas. The rest of my Sol is all in Jupe Sol. Now, you should do your own research and make sure. But yes, I don't really know if it makes sense to do anything outside of Jupe Sol with your Sol. There are reasons for it, for sure. It's not like insane to do it. But it is, yes, you should absolutely get some Jupe Sol. Sufia says, I'm hearing someone breathing, bro. It's not me. What? Might be fun. I don't know what to do about that. But if you're breathing on the call in the background, please stop breathing, Julian. Just stop your breathing. And I'm just kidding. You're muted, dude. No one can hear you. Today says, do I hold any Jupe? I hold quite a bit of Jupe, actually, although I've bought all of it on the market. Anyway, going back to this here, the Validator crushing on the performance side, Jupe Sol crushing as well, and the team now crushing as well. Talk a little bit about the team that you've built out. Let me just say, Italo has kind of blown everyone's socks off over at Jupiter, just on like the caliber of talent that he's been able to bring in. One sign of a great leader is like wherever they go, the best people want to work with them. That's what we're seeing from Italo. Tell them about some of the new folks that have joined the team because of you.
Yeah, this is not related to the validator. This is just a new team that we built inside Jupiter. A team that is going to be working more like horizontal integrated in all the different products in Jupiter. And essentially, although, like typical in crypto, we get your it's hard to know who is who, but essentially like all these folks, they are one of the most respected RPC stack developers in Solana. All these guys been in Solana for a long time already. Actually, some of them are the creators of contributors to the technologies that we all developers use in Solana in the RPC, like Yellowstone RPC and many other, like DAS, which is a NFT compression thing that Metaplex originally created, and now is kind of being maintained by the community. This new team inside Jupiter, as I mentioned, their priority number one is to make all Jupiter pros more reliable. And we are going to be doing that by building our own RPC capability, improving our pros. Like for example, right now, just to give some detail, right now we are working on the quote API. We want to reduce the read latencies, which means that are going to be more like the quotes are going to get a little bit better by that, right? we are working on all these things that should improve Jupiter, all the pros inside Jupiter. I'm very excited because all these guys are very smart. They make me look so dumb in those meetings every day.
Yeah, it is a thrill to have them. As Monique is pointing out, they one of them in particular, Groovy Garrett. This is among the scariest images that I've ever seen. I'm gonna have some real some real nightmares later on. But this is another step, right? How do we get the Jupiter product to be used by even more people? Well, we make sure that it is the most reliable product come hell or high water. And that's how we get more users, how we get more revenues, how we improve Jupe, and how we get more people talking about it over here as well. Scarlett says, I always say using user feedback is the number one secret of a great Jupiter product, but building a go-to team is probably ranking above that. 1A and 1B, I would say. 1A and 1B. Some good ideas internally on the team, but some great feedback from folks as well. And Italo, thanks for bringing these folks out. So if you see these people around Twitter, give them a little follow. They'll be dropping some more alpha and some more intense technical updates that are coming over. But just to recap it here, Jupiter Validator, fourth biggest, Jupe Sol, third largest LST, not sleep until we get to number one. New push on that happening with the DATs, with a staking page to make those benefits clear, and a new team to push it forward. These four look like the Suicide Squad, says Satchel. Yeah, except for Fanta ID. He just looks like a normal, good-looking dude. He's just hanging out. The rest of them, a little bit more, unhinged. But all right, Italo, anything else that you want to say to the folks here?
No, I think that's it for me.
Excellent, man. Thank you so much for coming on. Pleasure to see you as always, my guy. I'll talk to you very soon. Please. All right. Whew. All right, folks. So, like I said, we try to change the format a little bit more education for you. Now you know a little bit more about how JLP works. You know a little bit more about how validators work. Let me give you now some alpha, some money glitches. As just a quick obvious note, this is not financial advice. what I'm trying to do in this call is kind of spotlight some opportunities for you to go and research and figure out if they make sense for you and your portfolio. Do not tell me about how these things work for you. This is just a way to kind of give it up to you. This is risky to do. We got 4,681 people watching right now, according to StreamYard. It's always nerve-wracking to do this in front of a large audience of thousands of people, but I'm going to do it anyway because it's what people want. They want alpha. They want more instances on how to earn. Well, I'm going to give you a few. First one here is these are all on Jupiter Lend, obviously. On Jupiter Lend right now, this is actually a crazy one. On your Sol, if you do have Sol, you're not liquid staking it for whatever reason. Here's one reason you might. You can actually multiply it right now with EuroC, which is the Euro stablecoin from Circle. And if you multiply it 3.17x, you can actually get 19% APY on it, which is pretty incredible. You might ask, well, how am I getting that? And the answer is the supply rates for Sol are very good because we're incentivizing them right now to bring more Sol in. So on your Sol, you get 7.7%. And then on the debt, you get 2.4% because those rates are actually being incentivized down. The natural borrow rate is something like 3.4%. We take off 1% on it. So you only pay 2.4%. When the supply number is bigger than the borrow number, if you multiply it, you just multiply the difference between them, right? And so here, this is whatever, 5.3%. You multiply it by 3.17%. It ends up being something like 19.28%. This is great. I don't know why more people don't do this. You are taking on a little bit of currency risk with the euro, but if you're based in Europe, you're transacting in euros anyway. This seems like a pretty good thing to do. I don't know why more people don't do it. It is great. There's another 3.4 million available to do this with right away. So go check this out. You're going to have a great time. Obviously pick your own risk parameters and so forth. If you dial the risk up, the multiply leverage up, then you will get even more. So you can actually go up, I think, to about 23, 24%. But that's a pretty great thing to do. The next one, 17% on Syrup USDC. So on Sol, you obviously have exposure to Sol price, right? So if Sol price goes up, you'll make more money. If Sol price goes down, you'll lose some more money, right? But on Syrup USDC, we had Martin on, one of our valued partners on last Planetary call to talk about Syrup USDC, which is effectively a stablecoin basket, which the underlying assets are then loaned out to people who then pay back real yield. So the supply APR is 7% on this, and you can pay 5.6% for the debt that you're getting. If you max out the leverage on this, that's 17% APY that you get on this. Syrup USDC and USDG are both effectively stable coins. Syrup USDC is kind of like a yield-bearing stablecoin. Not exactly. You can go do some research on that, but it's similar. And yeah, as Timisi says, my banker is sweating right now. Well, what he said is actually my banker is sweating right now. But sweating right now is probably what he meant to say. Or maybe he's sweating right now because your banker is taking all your money out and just putting it into Jupiter Lend. 17%, $4.3 million available to you right now. Go do it. The Syrup USDC USDG vault or USDC vault is maxed out. Can't get into it. USDG vault still available. And these rates are quite good because, again, they're being incentivized, which is what makes this work really well. The reason, by the way, you might notice over here, I said it only goes up to about 3.8 multiply. Over here, it goes up to 8.26 or 8.29 multiply. The reason for that is simple. It's for Syrup USDC and USDG, which are pegged assets, you would really kind of need Syrup USDG's borrow rate to exceed 7% for an extended period of time to be able to liquidate. Now, that doesn't mean you should max it out. Maybe you want to be a little bit safer, you can keep it lower. But the risk of liquidation on this is quite low. And you'll see. Sufia says, when CRT USDC Vault, I love those guys, JSB and Alan, I think. And I'm talking to them, I think, later this week or early next week. And we're going to get a little bit more theory there. Okay, one last one here. We talked about Jupsol before. You can get 18% plus on Jupsol right now on Jupiter Lend. Again, Jupsol and Sol are pegged assets. Even if, for whatever reason, the market price of Jupsol tanks, which is very, very unlikely, but let's just say if someone sells $500 million all at once, it doesn't matter because we don't actually look at the market price. We look at the actual index price of it, right? So this is, again, the only way to get liquidated on this is if the borrow rate exceeds the supply rate for an extended period of time, which again is very, very unlikely. So you can take on up to here 12.5% leverage or 12.5x leverage, which is pretty insane. This is, to me, this is so insane. Jupsol multiplies my jam, says JD Sol. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys. Go check out Jupiter Lend. It's got tons of great opportunities on here. And then one last one to shout out on Pro. Not enough people use QuickSwap. QuickSwap is a really easy way, especially if you're trading meme coins, to make sure your transactions go through very quickly on a small amount or on an instant amount, just with 1 or 2 clicks. Very, very simple. All right, that's it for this section of money glitches. Let me know in the chat. What do we think of this section? Shall we do this every time? Is it useful? Give me a little W if you want to do this again. Drop a little F if you think that you already knew about these. You didn't need to go through those. Let me know. I see that AG is giving me a double thumbs up backstage, which is good. Brona says yes. W, Scarlett likes it as well. Oh, wow. Okay, then a bunch of W's came all at once. Tiny Tim, Old Roach, WTP, Monique, VDMD. All right, a lot. Okay, sticky figures. All right. Well noted, folks. LIC. That's how we're Slick says W, Martin says W. We're going to go ahead and do this again then. So here you go. Those were the money glitches for this week. All right. Where as you might have mentioned, Noah says not priority, not to mention the risk. I think I was pretty clear about the risk. As I say, with these two pegged assets, if the risk is, if the borrow rate exceeds the supply rate for an extended period of time. On the Sol Euro C1, obviously you can get liquidated in the normal fashion if you take out too much leverage and the price moves against you. The great thing to know, I know people are maybe not as familiar with Multiply. On the Multiply page, when you go there and you drag that little slider, you'll see a little disclaimer that says, hey, if the price of Sol reaches X, your position will be partially liquidated. That's a great thing about Jupiter Lend. It's not true everywhere else. You only get liquidated until you're below that 80% liquidation threshold, and we charge an exceedingly small penalty on that. Oh, sorry, Chiron, my fault. All right, there we go. Glazed over the euro leverage. Nope, just explained it actually, Noah, but thank you for making sure that was clear to everyone. It's Kash asking if it's a good idea to make money. That is up to you all. Okay, cool. With that said, let's go into a new section called Community Notes. Drop a little jam in the chat. You know him, you love him. One of the best Catdets Corners ever to happen. No pressure, AG. We're going to bring up the homie AlleyCat is in the building. What's going on, AlleyCat?
What's going on, my brother? How are you?
You know, it's 12:30, but I know that's nothing for you. You and I have called, I think, at 2 a.m. your time usually, so I feel bad kind of complaining to you. What is this about my gray hair? Kirk, you're killing me over here, brother. I'm going to have to go dye my hair right after this. I know, man, but my hair aside, AlleyCat, you're feeling good. Obviously, you've come into this community role on the team, been helping kind of shape things up. You've been having conversations by basically the bucket load. What I wanted to do today was hear a little bit from you on maybe to talk about kind of what the great parts about the community that you've kind of learned about and seen and the DAO previously, and then maybe an assessment of kind of, what we might want to change or improve about the DAO and the community going forward. Let's start with some of the good stuff. Let's start with a little bit of a recap. In your experience, as far as you've explored, what have you seen as some of the highlights or the great things that have happened in this community before?
I mean, to be honest with you, Jupiter paved the way when it came to the DAO. Obviously, it was the largest DAO ever created. The energy and the vibes was amazing from people. Hundreds of thousands of token holders got together to vote, and it was just something that was never done before. And I think it paved the way for the way DAOs are looked at in the future moving forward.
I think so as well. I think for me, one of the crazy things to see was the fact remember, folks, I think sometimes people got this confused. They're like, oh, the DAO is the community is the DAO. No. The DAO is like the legislative arm of the community. It's a subset of the community. It's not the same thing. But what was very cool to see was the way in which the community got so actively involved in governance, right? There was this real culture of debate. I mean, hundreds of replies on forum posts, thousands of attendees to town halls to discuss proposals and stuff. What do you make of that kind of community energy that came out during that previous period?
I mean, the community energy was great when things were great, but sometimes where energy could have went into politics a bit. Always room for improvement, but overall, the community was something that was never experienced before.
I would tend to agree. I think that even some of the innovations on the DAO and the community side, the self-hosted town halls, the obviously things like ASR and the work group had never been done before, which is pretty incredible. But obviously, DAO voting has been paused for a little bit. And in this period, I think that you and I and Meow and everybody else have kind of been really thinking about, hey, okay, what didn't really work the best? So as you reflect and through your conversations, what have you heard from folks are some places where we maybe went astray?
There was a little bit, and I'm going to be speaking, freely. There was a little bit of a misalignment, between the team, maybe the DAO and the community. There were some voices out there who felt that they weren't heard. and that had to do with roles and whatnot, which might have to be looked at moving forward. And in addition to that, work groups. I mean, these people in these work groups killed themselves every day, and they gave it their all.
Oh,
And
yeah, in a good way, you mean?
it's good.
They're not.
They,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
they gave their blood, sweat, and tears, and sometimes their work was just reflected from the token price. So whichever way the token price was going, that's the way the work groups were viewed at that point, which I don't think was such a fair thing. But reality is reality, and they
It is indeed.
paved the way for the way things work in a DAO and a community, which of course are two separate things, but it could never be forgotten of what they accomplished.
Yeah, I gotta say, let's maybe drill into each of those because I think it's important to talk about not from a perspective of like, oh, we should just like flagellate ourselves and pretend nothing good happened. A lot of good stuff happened, but it's only by being kind of like open and honest about where things kind of got a little bit wrong that we can start to get better and redesign kind of better systems here. So as we talk, when you say things like around alignment, can you expand a little bit on that? Like, where do you feel like things kind of what was the nature of the misalignment?
It was mostly communication wise and work groups being work groups, DAO being DAO, and alignment wise. I think we needed a little bit more coordination between the team and the community, um, which we hope to change moving forward. I mean, you guys brought me in
Mm.
here, sort of a liaison between the two, and I think when it comes down to the role and the reset, like you said, recap um, everything that was done good. We have to reflect. So I've been spending weeks talking to people, having town halls, even just going through all the chats just to see what the vibes are and whatnot. And I think a lot of the energy sometimes just goes into the wrong place where it needs to be not vibes on emotion and token price, but vibes based on education product. I mean, the products that Jupiter is coming out with are just unmatched by any other company out there. And I think there is a future where if we reset, focus on DeFi, and focus on education, we're headed in the right direction. We're headed in a better place, and DAO 1.0 paved the way. So how it should be. So, and there was great things. The foundation that came out of it was some structurally the foundation stuff was unbelievable. Where you keep going with that and move forward.
Yeah, I think so. That energy point is so true. I talked about this in the post where we paused out voting as well, where it did feel like I don't know. I guess the team made plenty of mistakes, as I've continuously and will continue to say that when you're operating at the frontier, when you're kind of building the playbooks for the first time, you don't know what the right way to go about things. You just kind of have to do. It's a combination of intuition and iteration, as I always say, right? And there, I do think that, like, from an energy perspective, a lot of the comms and a lot of the conversation about Jupe and about Jupiter became kind of revolved. They revolved mostly around politics rather than on kind of like value creation and so forth. And to the degree that I saw kind of like misalignment, it was oftentimes the case that you know, token holders thought that people who were in the DAO and the DAO workforce were not doing well. People are mad at the team for kind of creating the system of the DAO initially and maybe not moving fast enough to change it, which I think is a very valid criticism. And I think that there was, people had different expectations out of different things. I do want to talk a little bit more about the work groups. Obviously, that's how I started. There's a bunch of people in the group here who've been part of work groups. Indeed, they did great stuff, but it felt, and you tell me if you agree, it felt a lot like the expectations were basically like, hey, if you're asking for $1, you got to figure out a way to make me 10 back. And if you're not doing that in a clear, concrete, explicit kind of way, then I am not excited about you and I'm going to FUD everything that you do. Was that kind of your impression of things as well at the time?
100%. And I'm one of those who spent hours and hours in voice chat with almost every single member of the work groups. I mean, whether it was Jupe and Juice or Uplink, CWG, VAWG. I mean, we spoke daily about how they were feeling and how things were going and whatnot, which honestly, all of those conversations helped me not knowing where we would be in the future now. But those conversations with emotion and feeling, um, when it comes to pressure and expectations, if you try to do that now, you can't replicate that. That was real live, and it helps me to help Jupiter and the community moving forward. But that was definitely the case, Cash.
Yeah, as OG says over here, a large portion of people thought people getting allocations. Let's stop moving the comments when I'm talking about one. A portion of people thought people getting allocations was actively taking away from their ASR, misalignment on incentives. Yeah, it did. I think it was a novel experience, and it was something that was worth doing. And I think we would both agree, and people who are kind of like in the trenches know that the work groups added immense value. The CAWG, the DAWG, the DevRel work group on the trial, Jupiverse, et cetera. All of those. CAWG, indeed, added a lot of value, and it just, I don't think we ended up making that case clear enough, and it was one of those kind of like negative effects where like the more we tried to talk about the work groups, the more we tried to explain it, whether it's from the team or the DAO or the work group members themselves, the more FUD would kind of be there, right? It was like every time we tried to shine a spotlight, it was kind of like immediately infested by roaches or whatever else it is. And I shouldn't say roaches in the sense that like everyone who's criticizing was doing so unfairly. Many people had kind of good faith critiques of it, which is fair enough that more could have been done. Obviously, I think that none of the work groups were perfect, but yeah, it was a real issue. And I think that as much as again, like I was the guy behind Uplink to start with, and obviously then OG and everybody else, Will and Molu and Clouds and Pedro and so on, Seven Tree, like made it great. But I do think that there was a fundamental thing about it that just did not work. Even if when you have 400,000, 500,000 staking wallets, folks, weren't able to really make it work. And it's not clear to me how to make that work. I think that's like one of the big lessons to me from the first iteration of the DAO. Let's talk a little bit more about this last thing here around this kind of people feeling like excluded, this kind of insider dynamic. This was something that I heard a lot, was people being like, oh, it's all insider. Can you talk a little bit about what you've heard from people on that side?
I mean, you had the work groups, and they were the upper echelon, obviously, below the team, and they were there for a reason, especially getting paid for their work or whatnot. And then below that, we have the COCs who, for basically were the mentors for all the cadets out there. And when it came down to grants, making decisions on which grants should be approved and whatnot. But that came with some expectations and also thoughts. Everybody's different on a personal level when it comes to being in a leadership position. Not every mentor is the right way. And then you have the cadets, who really are the backbone of everything. I mean, I think we have 700 cadets, close to that. Obviously, not all of them are active and whatnot, but then you had regular members of the community who were grinding out in general, answering questions during times where the entire crypto industry was down. And sometimes it would take some time for them to move up, get promoted to a cadet role where somebody else might just have been around for a short period of time, let's put it that way, not put in the same amount of hours. And that's another thing that became a real big issue. When you have seniority involved and you have people where they're putting, let's say, in a 1 year's time, 100 hours of work. But then you got people grinding away for 3 months, putting in 500 hours of work for the community, for the DAO. What do you do in that situation? You go with, go with the seniority level, or do you go with the people who are, putting in a lot of time? Like Isaac from, Isaac was a grinder. Minko came in and she was just grinding right off the bat. But there's people that were waiting to get promoted, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. There used to be a time where COCs only one a month got promoted. So, you get 12 in a year. And it causes a dynamic where roles are a little bit too important, where we should be focusing on other things. And I think moving forward, there's some different ways where we could tackle that and change that and make it a better place.
I think what I like a lot about this conversation, obviously what I don't like about the conversation is that these things happened, right? Like they were a lot of good faith people who put in a lot of time and people who are thankfully still around, but some people did churn as a result of all of this, right? Like they left. And, yeah, it's growing pains. But the good thing is, the thing that I like about this is that the kind of insights that you've gotten from these conversations and the things that you're saying here do give us a pretty clear sense of what needs to happen next. I will say, like, people who've heard me in the chats with cats will know I say this all the time, but like I think it feels really important to me that the Jupiter community has to be more than just talking about politics and more than just apples. It's got to have some kind of meaningful purpose that makes the world a better place in a direct fashion, where everyone's having the kind of same conversation. We don't have this kind of feeling of insideradness. It's got to be this place where people who are contributing are finding ways to get paid that don't require them to go into witness protection program because they're getting screamed at so much from folks, right? And it's got to be balanced. It cannot be that the full conversation about Jupiter is around governance. It has to be about ultimately the products. It has to be ultimately about the mission of Jupiter, which is onboarding the world onto DeFi and getting it so everyone's just saying just use Jupiter. I think I saw Marja had a comment earlier around at some point PPP left the building. I think that is true. But the good news is going through all of this, identifying the problems, puts us in a position to start to reset, to try to kind of bring a new energy to the community and a new, fresh approach to the way that we think about how the community should work going forward. And if I'm not mistaken, AlleyCat, you've got some ideas there. We don't have to talk about them right now, but I believe that they're going to be coming out in somewhat soon. No.
You know what I find amazing? People like, where's Meow been? Meow was grinding with me in New York City, meeting a member of the community, dropping into an airport at 5 a.m., meeting at Moonshot offices at midnight over the last 2 weeks. I mean, this man as a founder came to me one person because he cared so much about the community. And I think it should be noted out there and people should understand where, there's a lot of dynamics, there's a lot of pieces to this puzzle. Everybody's doing what they can. But for him to just be getting on flights, meeting me, multiple days, going through essays, all of us going through ideas, me getting to know how he feels and what his, personality is and his thoughts on everything, including you yourself. I mean, it's a big thing, and I think he should be actually commended for it, rather than, him being questionable where he is on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I spent
thank you.
whatever it is, like aggregate. Yeah, I mean, I just spent the last 12 hours with Meow, or however long I've whatever time he got to the office. Yeah, about 12 hours. So yeah, I can assure you, he's still definitely there. Okay, so listen, folks, what you can expect here, this is kind of the foreshadowing, is a community reset, where we're kind of taking the community and giving it a real sense of purpose, bringing the vibes back, making it fun to be a part of. And so that is what you can start to expect. AlleyCat is going to be leading that effort, so expect to see a lot more of him. If you have ideas on what the community should be doing as well, you absolutely should reach out to AlleyCat as well. AlleyCat, any last things to share here from your research deep dive?
Just want to share that every other week we're going to be doing a DeFi series product Q&A. Next week is going to be Jupe Mobile with the legend Aaron. Then we go back to a Planetary call. Then we're going to have Pro. Burst Team. I know there's a couple of new products that are going to be coming out. I should probably not mention anything, but basically we're going into DeFi. That's where we need to go, and we have to definitely onboard the world to DeFi, and there's going to be a lot of opportunities. Just to put this clearly out there, there's going to be opportunities for members of the community to step up as teachers, preachers, as you would say. There's a path forward, and it looks good. And
I think people will be pretty excited about it. I think so as well. All right,
members, I
AlleyCat,
got
thank you.
mention that helping me out in the background, and we go from there.
There it is. AlleyCat, thank you so much for coming on. Thanks for sharing some of these insights. Looking forward to some more details around the community reset coming up.
.id, shout out. Thanks.
Shout out. All right, buddy. I'll catch you very soon. Peace, brother. All right, that is it on the community note side. Community reset coming soon. Let's go into the final section here. Everyone's favorite section. It is Catdets Corner, and today I'm gonna demand a little JM in the chat. Long-standing member. People know him. People love him. Mr. AG. What's up, buddy? AG, I cannot hear you. Or your voice is quiet like a mouse. Could go either way. Thankfully, AG knows sign language and can do sign language for the rest of this conversation, I hope. Or maybe he cannot. You are. Oh, AG, we cannot hear you, but you are AG, my man. Not muted on this side, so it is a microphone problem. We'll give him another little bit to try to figure this out, or he might be a repeat next week, or in 2 weeks' time, I should say, on the Catdets Corner.
What
It's
about now?
okay. Let's flip it. Oh, and there we go. What's up, buddy boy? How you doing?
Sorry. Yeah, good. Hello, and yeah, sorry for this. I thought I tested it. I thought it works, but apparently I was wrong. So apologies, everyone.
Sir, we have all been there. I've hosted this call 55 times and another 20 Jupe rallies, and I still mess it up at time to time. AG, for people who don't know, tell the people, who are you? What do you do around here?
Well, I'm a community member. Recently, Minko and me joined Alley in the effort of reshaping the community, let's put it this way. And before that, I joined Jupiter DAO, I think around like maybe March or February last year. First of all, because of Mao's essays. And then I just got in here, started talking to people and fell in love with the place and the people. And yeah, then I was a part of co-work group for a little bit, and here I am. Yeah.
And here you are. Now made it a bit time. You've been around for a little while. You said you fell in love with the place. Tell me, who's your most favorite community member and who's your least favorite?
That's like a trick question. There are quite a few most favorite community members, and there is 0 least favorite community members. So
I almost had him.
Yeah.
Give us a few of your most favorite. Obviously, you've been in the mix for a long time. So give us a shout out, give some love.
WTP, currently rebranded as Kanshiro, is probably like one of the most respected people by me. Then, of course, the CWG family, Slork, Morton, Jay, Cryptic, Kimo. I've learned a lot from you guys and still do.
What about Girk? What do you have any feelings about Girk?
I like Girk, but I really hope he gets banned soon.
Ban Girk, please, mods, ban him. God damn. How long can this mischief continue?
Yeah.
Anyway, AG, talk a little bit more. Sorry, we love Girk. That's for people who don't know. It's a bit of an inside joke to ban Girk. So you've obviously been a part of it for a little while. You've seen it from the inside on the work group side as well. Talk a little bit about what you think kind of differentiates the Jupiter community from others.
To be honest, this is probably my first Web3/Web4 now community. I've been in quite a few Web2 community, open source communities. The difference is probably the scale. Like, there are passionate and knowledgeable and really smart people in most of the communities that I've been a part of, but it's never been so concentrated. Like, there's never been so many people who are really passionate about something or really good at something. So I think Jupiter and Jupiter DAO really stands out in this sense. And also it's just fun being here like every day.
It is. I gotta say, it is a good time. I know that there's oftentimes a lot of fun stuff. Do you have any highlights or favorite memories from your time in the Jupiter community?
Favorite memories. I don't know about favorite, but like one of the most memorable moments for me, not moments, but periods, was the previous Jupiter vote, which took like 2 votes, in fact, and a few weeks. And it's been really intense. And the thing that I really liked is how all the core community came together and welcomed the newcomers, tried to explain what's happening, tried to make them feel like home. So this was really cool, I think.
I remember that time. It was a stressful time for me, if I'm being honest, but I'm glad that some people enjoyed it and have it. Benika is asking AG about his favorite Polish meal. I mean, it's got to be pierogies, I would assume. But you tell me, what is your favorite Polish meal?
Yeah, it is pierogies, but Monique thinks it's pasta with strawberry.
Oh, is that a
Yeah,
Polish thing?
it is a real thing, Kash. Unfortunately, yeah.
That does not sound ideal. Yes, I am. I'm from a place called Pittsburgh, where there's a giant Polish population, so I've had my fair share of Polish food.
Yeah,
I will
yeah.
say, you can do more stuff with stewed cabbage than you think, folks. The Poles are very inventive on the stewed cabbage.
100%. Yeah.
Scarlett says, "Night of the Living Racists was crazy too." AG, could you share a little lore here? What was tell the people about the Night of the Living Racists?
I rather don't. No, sorry, Scarlett.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's talk a little bit more about the Jupiter product suite here. You've seen it all. You've seen a bunch of stuff. Any particular favorite products, or how about this? What do you think is the most underappreciated Jupiter product?
Definitely portfolio. In my opinion, I think that it's awesome, and I know that it's really like popular. 3 million people historically, but I still think that it deserves more recognition. And also, I'm starting to fall in love with Jupiter Land. I am not yet an expert. I'm far from that, actually, and I still bother Morten and other people with stupid questions, like really newbie questions. But I'm really excited about the possibilities that it opens, and yeah, hopefully we'll learn more about it soon.
There we go. Yes, I was Bolo and alley for Jupiland, but I'll take the layup. Hey, 2 points is 2 points. All right, that's all you need to know. All right, last question, because my headphones are about to die and it's getting quite late. For people who are new to the community, any advice? How do they get the most out of it?
First of all, don't be afraid to ask questions. There is plenty of people who will be happy to help you. If you can help the others, those who need help, and share the knowledge, learn. This is basically what I've been here for, and I hope that I'm not alone in this mission. So yeah, this would be my advice.
That I can assure you. You're not. Scarlett says, "Believe in something ourselves." Absolutely right. All right, AG, any last words for the folks at home?
No, Cap, I love you guys. Happy to be here.
A perfect way to end it. AG, thank you for everything you do in the community. People will see a lot more of you around. I can guarantee that. All right, AG, we'll catch you very soon.
Yeah.
Bye, buddy.
Thank you, guys.
All right, the love for AG is drop a little love for AG. I don't know if AG you can see the whole chat, but it's lighting up for you right now, buddy. Take a look if you can't see it right now. Pretty great stuff, folks. That's going to be about it for us this time. It is nearly 1 a.m. over here. We went through a lot this week in the Jupiverse. Tons of things. 100 million Jupes, 100 million tokens in the Litterbox Trust. Jupiter Validator, number 4 biggest in the universe. Jupiter or JLP now native staking its SOL, so you get even better APYs and higher limits with reduced fees. Major difference over there. Major upgrade over there. New team members. We went through Money Glitch for the first time ever. We got to hear from AlleyCat around some thoughts on the community and what's going to be coming forward in the community reset. And then, of course, we got to hear from the homie AG, who we know and love. I'll say this: you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here, my friends. I will see you again in 2 weeks for here's the last alpha. 2 weeks from now, there's going to be a product. I mean, hopefully, I think it actually might come out earlier than 2 weeks from now. A product that many of you have asked for and loved for a long time and wanted for a long, long time. In 2 weeks from now, we're definitely going to have Soju on. We're going to have a partner on who's building something really, really killer. And we should have a second major new product announcement that's never been revealed coming up in 2 weeks. So it should be very fun. Thank you all very much. And we will keep Money Glitch Broda. Thank you for having it in there or putting a comment in. Appreciate y'all. You don't have to go home, but you